Alright, let's talk about FFmpeg. So I made a ticket on the FFmpeg track. I don't really know what that is, but looks like a bug tracker where you can create tickets and they will hopefully get fixed. Well, mine didn't get fixed, and I'm going to talk about that and rage a little bit at you about that. So here we go. This is a defect. I called it a defect because that's the closest tag that I could use that would describe the problem I was having with FFmpeg. Defect: can't convert from wave, so PCM, to HEAAC v2, or even just HEAAC in general, but it was closed because apparently it's invalid. Now it's not, but the mindset of the people behind FFmpeg, at least for what it looks like, seems to be not what it doesn't reflect reality, or at least it's a little bit of a mind bend from what reality seemingly is. So let's get into this. Created this 9 days ago, so over a week ago at this point. It's not fixed. Basically, I do this command that should convert a wave file, see, cinnamon.wave, which is full of 16-bit PCM from a CD, and it's going to convert it to using the AAC audio toolbox, which actually, this doesn't work with any of the AAC encoders that are compatible with FFmpeg, but for this one, I was doing this on a Mac, so I can use the Mac OS audio toolbox to do encoding. That didn't work for shit. It would say, or no, actually, it wouldn't say anything. It would just convert it, and then the audio file would just be corrupted. Wouldn't even play in anything. How useless. So basically, I have corrupted audio files on one of my laptops now because of this bullshit. And every single time I tried this after that, it's still corrupted. So FFmpeg is just useless for this. Now, I reported it on the Discord server, which it took me a week. Actually, it took me longer than 9 days to get any kind of real response from anyone, which is great. Not really. And then I was told it's illegal to do it. I'm like, what? How can converting from one file type to another be illegal? Huh? It's not. It's not illegal. It's just their interpretation of it. We do not support coding HE, even though I was told in the Discord server they do. And I'm like, okay, how the fuck do I do that? So he's like, okay, just do this, blah, blah, blah. And that just says the encoder is not found. This encoder that they told me to use isn't included in the base FFmpeg downloadable executable you can just download and run because, well, who the fuck knows? So you have to build it yourself from source, which is always fun. Just kidding, it's really not. And to illustrate what I mean by that, my father and I we were trying to build FFmpeg on his Mac. This is after I tried 3 times on 3 different machines and failed. Once on Windows 10 and twice on Mac OS. The first time on Mac OS, I was on OS X 10.14. I was just on the computer that I was using as my backup laptop because my actual laptop was getting serviced. So I had to use 10.14. Apparently, that's too old to build an encoder program, which is bullshit already. So couldn't do that. So I went to Windows 10, and that didn't work. I'm sorry, I meant I tried once on Mac and once on Windows. My dad trying it was the 3rd time. So I tried it on Windows 10 the next time, and I actually used an auto build program that was supposed to let me choose all the options, and of course that's annoying because you can't just say, okay, give me everything, because that's what I want. I just want everything. I don't want to cut anything out. I want every library included in the damn thing so I don't have to ever deal with this bullshit again. So I just go through and individually, because there's no way to do it all at once, I have to individually say, yes, I want this, yes, I want this, yes, I want this, yes, I want this. So that should have worked, but I got a build error. And I was so done with this process at this point that I'm just like, okay, you can fuck off with your stupid error. Go take a shit in your mouth. Whatever I just said. I don't know. So I was like, okay, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So I didn't. And for a day, I relaxed. We did some yard work, I believe. And the next night, in the evening, around 5, my dad and I were trying to fix this problem. So he tried to build it as well. He was like, okay, I'll help you try to build this program, which very nice of him because it's a giant pain in the ass. So we download the source from 2 different places. It's not clear where to put anything. It's not clear what to do. There's a million different instructions on the internet, so Googling is hell fun. You're not gonna find anything useful on there, at least through normal means, unless you know what you're looking for. I don't. I'm a noob. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm here Googling, going through result after result after result, looking at stuff that looks like it could do what I think it does or what I need. One person says you can do -- enable -all to configure FFmpeg when you're building it to include all of the libraries, which is great. That's what I want. Except that's not a thing. They lied. That's a fantasy world where good things are allowed to exist. Not here. Hell no. I've since been told twice by 2 different people that that's not a thing, and that's supported by the error that I get when I try to configure FFmpeg with that. It says there's no option with that name or something like that, which is great because that means there's no actual way to do what I need to do. I have to download manually every single library, put them in a folder, which God knows what folder, God knows what libraries, and God knows where I get them from in the first place, right? So I don't even know where to begin to do that. And it's a chore getting anyone to even respond to my messages in the Discord server, or any useful messages on my ticket. So I'm like, okay, I guess I don't get to do this. And now, okay, so let's get back to the ticket here. So let's see here. The person who is nice gave me this command to use. And sure, it doesn't work worth a shit because this isn't included in the base FFmpeg executable. So I replied to that and said, yeah, I already did that. Because I did. I've tried everything that any guide that is on the first page of Google has. And any guides within that guide that link from it. And so I'm like, yeah, I already did that. That's one of the many things I tried. Doesn't even say it's an option for me. It says something like encoder not found. And then they respond to that and say, FFmpeg, basically a command. And this is the command that should have worked, but of course, it's illegal? No, it's not. You're full of shit. And then I'm like, then why in the world would I even use FFmpeg if it doesn't support normal codecs? Because the HEAAC is found everywhere. It is a normal codec to use. Not including it is just, it's just so dumb. There's nothing to describe it. Seems like an extreme oversight, because it fucking is. It's like, that's the exact command I tried. I mean, of course, the bit rates are lower here, because I had 160, but, yeah. Didn't work either. And then I say, I'm on a Mac, so I have a built-in AAC encoder that is apparently better than anything else, stated by multiple websites, but again, I can't seem to use it either. Nothing fucking works. And FFmpeg appears to be useless for audio on my end, and I have no idea why. It works for some video things, but some it doesn't. Like, it can't use Video Toolbox, which makes it practically useless for me on Mac, or on pretty much anything. So, great. Useless. It's free, but it's useless. So, and then they come back and say, okay, and they're nice, and they say, you know what? Here's a build. They built it for me. How nice is that? So, it's illegal to download it, which is wrong, because I can just click the fucking link. And this is when my ticket went from new to closed, because apparently it's invalid, even though it's fucking not. This is a real problem. It's not an invalid problem. It is a real fucking problem. So here, I go to the link. Let's see here. Whoops, I went to the wrong page. Okay, there we go. I go to the link here. Look at this. And I see this file. This is the executable that I need to run to use FFmpeg. This is FFmpeg right here. You can see the size. You noticing anything wrong with this? You can't download it. Why would they bother building me a thing if I can't use it? This is wild, and there's no reason for this. It's like they're just leading me on with its melody. I can't download it. It's useless. Why would they even bother building it if I can't download it? It's dumb. There's no point. So I'm like, that would work, except it's not a Mac version, which is very true. Actually, it might be a Mac version. Nope, it's a Windows exe. Never mind. So, useless to me. And there isn't a download button. And this is just in case I was actually wrong and there was a download button. It was just in a stupid location. Turns out, no, there's no download button. I didn't miss anything. There just isn't one. And so they said, learn how to compile stuff. It's also not illegal then. Who would have thunk? Let's see. Why do I not want to compile stuff? Maybe because it's a giant pain in the ass. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's right. Maybe I don't want to learn to compile stuff because it's a fucking pain in the asshole. It's not that hard to understand how that could be a pain in the ass to someone that's just trying to use your program. I don't even know if I want to post this. Jesus. And I'm like, yeah, I tried, couldn't. And this is me trying to keep composure because of how mad I was at this dumbass comment. If I could learn, I would have done that already. And I tried. I couldn't. I don't have the time, which is true. I want to get shit done. And when I need to get shit done, I don't have the time for bullshit like building an encoder that should have been built in the first place for me. Plus, I don't really want to. Oh, go figure. I don't want to. Nor should I have to learn how to compile anything. Yeah, there should just be an executable you grab off the fucking internet and run. There should be very clearly, there should very clearly be a pre-built binary to do something as simple as converting PCM to HEAAC, which is correct. It's not an otherworldly thing to do. It's not. It's a very normal thing to want to do, for nerds anyway. And if FFmpeg costed $60 because of it, I'd happily pay that. You know, because license fees that the developers would have to pay if they included it by default, or wanted to include it at all, and actually wanted to do something nice for the community. But no. And because of that, it's free, but it's also useless. I'd happily pay that. I would. I paid $60 for fucking Blu-ray ripper because there's nothing else that's that simple. I can just click a button and have it do it. Fucking easy. It's worth it. It's not the user's fault I can't talk. It's not the user's fault if they simply want. I'm too mad to talk. It's not the user's fault if they simply, for one reason or another, can't build a program. And that mindset is just ignorant of anything. Cause it is. Normal people don't want to learn how to program. Duh. Let alone not helpful to anyone. Because it's not. It's not helpful to anyone. Except for Linux users. And I'm going to put the typical Linux user in the description. Watch that video if you want to see what you look like when you use Linux. It's nuts. Everything breaks. Last time I used Linux, every time I got on my computer, it's like Windows, but like 10 times worse. Because the base operating system breaks. Let's see. I don't care if something is technically illegal. I need to get stuff done without having to learn a million new concepts, following confusing guides that don't even work when they're completed, and doing this unsuccessfully for weeks, as I've been doing. Actually, it's about a week at this point, so technically a week, not weeks. By the way, this stuff is freaking good. Ginger stuff. Alright, let's see. Just is a 4-letter word. If you're saying just, it's probably not that easy as just doing it. Or I would have goddamn done it already. I've been trying to learn how to compile. I've even gotten people to help me IRL, like my father. But we are all having problems with this. So I know it's not just me having the issue. I'm not the fucking problem. This should be remedied. And I can't believe I actually have to bring this stuff to someone's attention for it to be even noticed to begin with. You guys should just realize this automatically. No one should have to do that for you. Not everyone can just compile shit on demand. Not everyone knows how to do that shit. Especially this. Compiling FFmpeg is no easy task. Compiling a Minecraft mod is way easier. I can do that if I have the libraries that I need. Not FFmpeg. Plus, I don't want to. I shouldn't have to. It's obvious. Fuck. Most people aren't that advanced, because they're not, but some of those people need a tool like FFmpeg, because there's nothing else out there. Okay, I kind of went off the deep end. I hate when people don't have reasonable expectations. It makes everything so much harder, which is true. That's a true statement. And my expectations are not unreasonable. This shouldn't be a problem. So they quoted me. I tried. Couldn't. And so they were like, well, I cannot provide you the build. It is illegal to distribute it. Even though they gave me the build. You gave me a fucking build. You just can't download it? What's the point in that? I don't understand what the point of that would be. Fucking idiot. And they quote me again. There should very clearly be a pre-built binary to do something as simple as converting from PCM to HEAAC. And they say, HEAAC is highly patented. What? Well, then pay him, you morons. And if FFmpeg costed $60 because of it, then I would buy it. And they said, we are not paying the patent nutjobs. Thank you very much. It doesn't always pay to be a fucking rebel. It doesn't. Just because you're an idiot doesn't mean you have to make everyone else a fucking moron. So I respond to their message, and this was a few minutes ago, so I'm still pretty fired up for having to write this piece. Why not? Seems pretty damn simple to me how it's supposed to work. People should get paid for their efforts. That's how business works. Because it does. It works like that. Yeah. Not doing this is noble, but also doesn't make any sense, and is a very long, very sharp, double-edged sword, and has been proven here, not including necessary codecs and such. For normal shit and things, like AGAAC, this should be included from the start. You should include that before you include freaking FLALF or ALAC, for fuck's sake. And then I go into the link that they sent for me to download the build they made for me. I'm like, so wait, you sent me a link to a build that is what I need supposedly, but I can't download it? Why even bother? Cause yeah, why the fuck would you bother with that shit if you're not gonna let me download it? If the nutjobs are the only ones that have what you need, you suck it up and you pay the fucking nutjobs. You idiot. God, it's just unreal. You suck it up and pay the fucking nutjobs, or you simply don't get the bleeding capability. Ya got it? Open source isn't good for everything. Like, I don't know, things you might want to do on your computer that maybe aren't free. Like everything! Windows isn't free. Mac OS isn't free. Your computer isn't free. How you gonna deal with that? Open source isn't good for everything. And I am irate that this is the only program that will maybe, if I could get it to fucking work, do what I need. And the fact that it's open source above all else, even to the detriment of the user and the program itself, is annoying, and it makes it a pain in the ass to use, or in this case, to even get a hold of a working program executable. I have too much bullshit debugging in my life as it is from all of my computers that I own and have to use for what I do, as it is. And I don't need a simple encoder program to fail on top of all of that. This shouldn't have even been allowed to be a problem in the first place. I stand by with everything I said in these messages. I'm not wrong. I'm not incorrect. Which also means I'm right here. I am correct. This shouldn't have been allowed to be an issue in the first place. If I was a dev, I would want to give my customers who are paying with their time, not quite with their money yet, I'll get into that, but are paying with their time, effort, and energy to download, install, and use my bleeding program to do what they do in their lives. Now, I could sit back and be proud of that, or I can make my program even better before any of that, which will appeal to more people. More people will use my thing. So I go and I buy access. I pay license fees to the people that hold the licenses, of course. Well, duh. Where else are you gonna get them? Because without these, it's kind of fucking useless. So I go and get it, right? I pay if a program's gonna cost $60, let's say that I pay $5 in license fees for this one package of encoders. That's great. I now have $55 for every sale that I can use for stuff. Great. What's the problem? There isn't one. And that's why this mindset is unreasonable to have. This is when open source goes too far. If you are the only program that can do what a lot of people need to do, you do what they need to fucking do. You don't hold back and hide behind your open source shield and say, oh, we're not going to pay them. We're just going to be jerks behind our screens and not going to do anything about it. We're not going to good. We're gonna be asinine and stubborn and useless. The fuck point is that? There's no point. There's no point to sitting back and saying, okay, it's the people who want to get paid for their work who are wrong. No, you're just an idiot. You don't know how business works. Go back to fucking school. That's enough for today. I can't yell into my microphone anymore. I'm done. Goodbye. Fuck.